3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to episode 260 of Ruse Radio. We are back at it again with a very special guest. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, world. I am Shawn Banks, and I'm here to make it rain.
Oh my gosh. It's about to rain here on Ruse Radio. We just got a weather alert on Ruse Radio, and it is time to rain, which is nice because it's been snowing a whole lot here in Chicago. So I'll actually take some rain. That's.
I say that because right before we were recording, we were talking about how we were like, oh, this is going to be like the last cold day. We're like manifesting it, and apparently it's supposed to like rain like all this week later on.
Is that right?
Yeah, apparently that's what the weather app says. But as I said before, I don't trust the weather app.
It.
They'd be lying. We talked about how it was supposed to rain last week, and then all of a sudden it was 60 degrees randomly. Didn't appreciate that. I don't like being gaslit on my own phone.
Yeah. That is kind of what. See, and have you ever thought, like, what is a weatherman? Like, what does it take to be a weatherman? I think it's kind of like a horoscope person. I think you just kind of tell people their horoscope.
Yeah, I feel like it's like literally like the Channy app. Like it's like an app that's like it's a app that is essentially like psychology or what is it, astrology.com, but it's like on an app. That's just essentially what it is. It's like you can take it and you can interpret it, but I'm not telling you what's going to happen. Yeah. I'm telling you there's going to be there's a chance of clouds and there's a chance of rain. And there's a chance that clouds are moving in, but I'm not going to tell you that's actually what's happening. That's literally what a weatherman is.
It's gossip.
It's like gossip. It's literally like, look, I just said that it might happen. Don't come back to me. It's, oh my God, they're literally the Real Housewives of TV.
Yeah,
weathermen are the Real Housewives. Like, look, I'm just letting you know what happened. I heard, and I'm just going with what I told you. But don't take it as fact.
But the problem is they're right 60% of the time. Like they're right more than half of the time. So you have to kind of trust them.
I guess, but
because they're not always wrong, but you just can't trust them. That's the real problem.
You just have to follow your own intuition. You know, you have to like look in your closet and say, am I going to break out the rain jacket today? You know, and then you can go with that as you will. You can do with that as you will. Yeah.
I remember I said to one of my coworkers when I came to work, I was like, it wasn't supposed to rain today, and it rained today. He's like, yep, that's how Chicago works. Like, welcome to Chicago. Like, it might even be more Chicago than other places where the weather just fucking changes.
Chicago is known for its gaslighting of the weather. It is very much known of that. I mean, this winter and this like whole year of weather has been proof of that, quite frankly.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm actually thankful because if people who have been around here long enough would know, like 2 years ago, oh my God, when it was like negative 25 degrees, it was like, I think with wind chill it was like negative 30.
Yeah, that was when, that was not the polar vortex, that was like years ago, but there was like another version.
I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was like a version of like the polar vortex that like happened like years ago, like before like pandemic and everything.
Oh, like there was another, I remember seeing that in the news, because I remember seeing clips from the news and it's like, you know, them talking about it's dangerous to be outside, and you see like them showing clips of people just walking around outside.
Yes. Like it's nothing. Like it's just nothing. Whatever. I swear I feel like I saw like footage of like someone wearing like a parka with like gym shorts on. They're like, oh, I gotta go to the gym. You know, it's negative 2 degrees, but I gotta get that CrossFit.
It's for his immune system.
It's like at that point, what is your immune system even doing at that point? Your immune system doesn't even know what this fuck is doing. It's like you're wearing Lululemon, but it's also like negative 10 degrees outside. Like, I don't know, pick a climate.
Well, okay, that reminds me of two things. But the first thing I would say is I remember seeing, because I think it's another thing like you'll see maybe more in Chicago than anywhere else just because it's the Midwest. Maybe you'd see this in New York, I'm not sure. But it's like, it was like Chicago girls be like, and it's a bunch of like Chicago girls going to a club and they're all dressed up and like not wearing anything but their club clothes, and it's fucking, there's snow everywhere and it's negative 5 degrees outside. I mean, and that is because you don't want to, where are you going to put your jacket? What are you going to do with you don't want to bring a jacket.
I think I can confirm that is definitely like a Midwestern Chicago thing, because that's not even just girls. I go to the gay clubs through the months of November, December, January, and February, and can confirm the girls and the gays be doing the same exact thing. The exact same thing. You will see a full Canada Goose and then see like a low cut tank top with like a booty short underneath it, and you're like, I respect you. Because like
they're so cold.
Because they're so cold, but they're like committed to it. And I feel like after a certain point, you are just like aware of like, this is what Chicago is. This is the weather. You're not going to let it stop your life. You're going to go out and you're going to do what you got to do. You're going to get in. Ladies are going to get in before midnight. and they're gonna get in for free, and they're gonna shake their ass, and they're gonna get coat check for their big ass Canada Goose.
Yeah, what blows my mind is like I've heard Canada winters, like if you were from Canada and you came here, you would think this is mild. You would think this is like nothing. And I think I don't think it's like cold. I don't think it's terrible. Because one thing I've noticed is every year in my mind, I'm always thinking, oh, this is going to be terrible. It's going to be so cold outside. It's going to be miserable. And it ends up being not that bad, except when it was -30 outside.
Well, I think that's the thing. I think Chicago weather is very specific because it really deals with extremes. Like Chicago is known for its very cold winter, the polar vortex, the tundra. Like it's known for its super wind chills. It's literally called the Windy City. And then it's also known for its like amazing, super warm, beautiful summers. There's really no like in between for the most part.
Yeah.
And also like I don't know if you can confirm this, but I feel like there really is no like. It doesn't really feel like there's like a spring in Chicago. It feels like it's like cold, 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 then hot.
Yeah.
Like, and so I feel like that's the thing is that like, whereas because I've been to have you been to Canada before?
No.
I've been to Montreal once before, and I actually like work for a Canadian company, and so a lot of people I've like met quite a few people from Canada, and they are just like. It's just more regulated there. Like, it's just more like standard. Like, this is what the temperature is. There's an easier transition from amongst the seasons. Whereas, like, in Chicago, we deal with extremes. We deal with literally the barest of the barest cold and then, like, the warmest, most beautiful, sunniest summers. And there's really not a lot of, like, in between.
Yeah. And the summers are so short.
They are so short. Oh my God.
They're so short. They barely happen.
Oh my God. You get that good June to August, and you better enjoy it. You better enjoy it. You better be out there at the rooftops.
Could you pop that door for her?
Oh, pop the door open.
Yeah, that's what she's saying. She's saying, please let me escape. I want my new.
She's like, y'all who's been talking about the weather too much. I'm good. She's like, what the fuck else is there going on?
But yeah, rooftop, because I want to be on a rooftop so bad. I don't think I've went to a rooftop bar. None of that. Not even once. Not even one time. You know?
Like since you've lived here?
Yeah, not even one time. Whoa. It's like, what's wrong with me? I mean, there's even rooftop comedy shows. There's rooftop music performances. Where the fuck am I? That's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't know when it's happening.
Do you need some good recommendations?
Someone, any of my friends, if anybody's watching you, if you see one of these happening, just, yes, recommend them to me. Okay. Yes, that's exactly what I want.
I mean, I can tell you some of my, like, favorite rooftop bars just, like, at the moment. I think Cindy's is, like, a really good, like, Chicago staple rooftop bar. There's a really good, I don't think they do shows or anything, but it's just, like, a really nice bar. Cindy's. It's downtown, right across the street from the Bean. And on Michigan Ave, and then I would say Cindy's. I would say upstairs at the Gwen, as well. And then there's one bar in like Wicker that does like a rooftop thing. I can't remember the name of it, but maybe I'll tell you afterwards. But if anybody knows, it's like a rooftop bar that's like in the middle of Wicker and Logan, and I would recommend that too.
Okay. Oh man, there's probably so many. There's probably so many of these.
We'll have to do some research. We're gonna have to do some research after this, and maybe we can do a poll and drop your favorite rooftop bar in the comments below. Thank you.
Ooh, drop your top. Drop top. Yeah.
Drop top.
There's something there.
There is. That's a bar. That's Lowkey a bar. Who's a rapper.
Yep, rapper. And I've got a comedian here on the show. How about a proper introduction?
Oh, yes.
Shawn Banks. We got you here.
I mean, like, yucks every now and then.
I don't think we've told the people, like, if I was to say, you walk in the room, it's a stranger. They glance at you. You glance at them. And I say, tell them who you are, Shawn. And you have to tell them who you are. And you've got 30 seconds to do it. And you have to tell someone exactly who you are. What would you say?
Hi, I'm Shawn Banks. I am a gay, queer, stand-up comedian and drag performer who is the embodiment of Lil Bill if he grew up and worked at a Mac counter.
Ooh, that was only like 10 seconds too. That was really good. It almost sounded like you had that on lock ready to go.
I mean, some of it is, yeah. I feel like after a while, you start to kind of like, doing comedy. You're like, you know who you are, and you know how to sell yourself and pitch yourself to people. And so I do believe that is like my brand. My brand is like young with like an old soul. I feel like it's a wise drag queen once said, it was like, what was it? It's like cognac attitude with a Alizé budget or something like that, where it's like I seem really like like classy and bougie, but she ain't. And so yeah, it's just about, selling the fantasy. I think. So yeah.
And how did you get to that? Like, did you always have that, or did you?
I feel like no, for the most part. I feel like I've always had a sense of, I don't know. I always knew from like a young age that like I had something special going on within me. Like I always knew that like there was something about me that was different from other people. And I'm not even talking about like my sexuality or anything. I'm just saying that like, how just like when like
when you're the chosen one.
When you're the chosen one and there's something in you and you're destined for something, you never really know what it is or like what it's going to be, but you just know that you're not better than, but like you're just like, that there's more out there that you want to accomplish. I'm from a very small town in Maryland, and there was just not a lot of people that wanted to like leave Maryland, and I just knew from like a very, very young age, I was like, this doesn't make sense. Like I want more than this. I was one of those like kids that like stayed up super late and would like watch like the like Devil Wears Prada and like dream of moving to New York City and like taking on the big city and stuff like that. And so it's very stereotypical, but that was very much, that was my story. I was Mary Tyler Moore throwing the hat up and then freeze framing. Like, yeah, that was very much me growing up. And so then I just always knew that like I was going to go somewhere. I didn't know where, and I didn't think it would be Chicago, but I'm very happy that I did move here when I did.
Yeah. And when did you start doing comedy then?
I started doing comedy in 2019. I started
great timing.
It was perfect timing, actually. So I started doing comedy in 2019. Before then, I did 6 months of improv, and it's actually kind of a funny story. So, like, similarly, so I went to college for fashion merchandising because at the time I thought I was going to. Okay, wait, I gotta back up. I'm sorry. I gotta back up. So I've always been like someone that's been on the stage. I've always been a performer. I played the clarinet competitively for 11 years. I went to a performing arts high school. Even before then, I played the clarinet. I would go to like all state regional competitions and stuff like that and perform.
Like Squidward.
Essentially, yeah. Literally, like, Squidward was, like, he was on the mood board for sure. Squidward was on the mood board, like, the personality and everything, for real. I still, to this day, think that Squidward is, like, still a little misunderstood. Like, I do believe that Squidward is a little misunderstood. Like, yes, he's a little negative. Yes, he's a little bratty. But, like, Squidward just, like, has dreams, and he has aspirations, and he similarly wants to get out of Bikini Bottom.
I want to see the Squidward movie.
I do think that Squidward needs to practice a little bit more. I feel like he has that sense of delusion where he's gone too far into the delusion where it's like, now you're just delusional. But I think there's a level of like, if he just honed it in a little bit, I feel like he could really like take it over. And also SpongeBob is a terrible neighbor.
Yeah.
We really got to wake it up. SpongeBob was a terrible neighbor. Like, he'd be blasting shit all the time. His snail is like a Gary, love Gary, but Gary's a bitch. So I'm just saying, I see you, Squidward. I think you're a little misunderstood. You do need to practice a little bit more on that woodwind, but I get the personality and I get the idea.
You kind of got me. I'm kind of sold on that. That kind of makes sense.
Did you watch SpongeBob growing up? Were you a SpongeBob person?
Yeah, 100%. And the way you just put it makes a lot of sense. Like, it makes him sympathetic.
Yes, and because he's also like aware that he's not the best, but like he has dreams and aspirations of like getting better, which like most other people in Bikini Bottom don't have. I just think he needs to like I see it for him. I just wish that like he would just kind of like lock in a little bit more.
Yeah.
And yeah, but I see it for Squidward. I do.
And I imagine all you guys were looking up to Squidward, all you players, all you clarinet players. Like, oh my God, that's our king. That's our king. I mean, who else do you got? Who else is like on the board with the clarinet playing? Like, who's like in media representing the clarinet players? I don't know.
There's really no like famous clarinetists. So yeah, every time I told people that I played the clarinet, it'd be like, oh, the thing that Squidward plays on SpongeBob. And there's like other people, like there's like a famous saxophonist named Kenny G. Yeah. And so like you could tell him like, oh, it's like Kenny G, but for the clarinet. But then people are like, I don't know what the clarinet is. But either way.
Yeah. But folks, an essential instrument. Okay.
Very essential instrument.
Don't be sleeping on the clarinet.
The woodwind is actually like it's the heart of a symphonic orchestra.
Oh no shit.
Yeah,
really?
In a symphonic orchestra, it's essentially the difference between an orchestra and a symphonic orchestra is it's a symphonic orchestra. It's just an orchestra with wind, as in like people are like playing a woodwind or like an instrument that requires breath. And so they always touted the clarinet as the heart of the symphonic orchestra because like the clarinet has the most personality of pretty much all of the woodwind instruments, which woodwind instruments are essentially an instrument that uses a reed, which is made of wood, to play, which would be like the saxophone, the clarinet, or the oboe.
Oh.
Yeah, my music nerd is coming out right now. That's crazy.
What's the oboe?
The oboe was like the there's no famous oboist either.
I played the trombone for a couple of years in school.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you like it?
I liked the trombone because I feel like the trombone is it's easier than the other ones. I mean, I think I've noticed I kind of like percussive instruments, if that makes sense. So maybe I would have liked other instruments that in band class. I was gonna say other instruments that you blow. I was about to say, but yeah. So because I mean I don't know, like drums, you play drums, like keyboard. I have a keyboard hiding back there.
Oh, I see.
I really should pick that back up again because that's something I like because you can kind of see it, you can scheme it out. Guitar I've never really liked for some reason. Trombone I liked because it's just kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like once you have all that stuff figured out, you can kind of just play things. You just have to. But people who are really good at it are really good at it. I forgot how you blow. It's like.
Yeah, I think your embouchure just has to. It's like someone told me when I was younger. It's like you're kissing, but you're using too much spit. That's what someone told me, was like you're kissing but you're using way too much spit when you're playing like a trumpet or a trombone or any kind of brass instrument.
It's a useful skill to be able to play any, because I think brass has a power to it. I mean, that's the difference between brass and like a woodwind.
It's like the bass, it's like the body, whereas like I feel like the woodwind instruments are like the more like lay, the airy, the heart, like they kind of breathe emotion into it, whereas I feel like the brass instruments bring like the bass, they bring like the emphasis, the emphasis.
And then what else is there? There's percussion, of course.
There's percussion, yeah, which like I think is mainly just to keep the beat.
And is that it? Those three? There's got to be something else.
There's the flute. The flute is a brass instrument, though, so it's really just brass instruments, woodwinds, and then percussion. Yeah,
yeah.
Those are like the three parts of like a band for the most part.
I miss the days when video games would have like a whole soundtrack, and it was like that. It was a whole band playing the soundtrack. Because now you'll see that sometimes, but it's not so often anymore. It used to be all the time, I feel like.
Yeah, or like they'll just kind of get like a generic score, and then they'll just like add certain instruments to it that they're missing, so they can like there's like a website where you can get like generic like music scores, and then they'll just like get instruments, like if they need a violin, they'll get a violinist.
I mean, technically that's how movies start, because you have, what is it called when you have the filler music when you're editing? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I just forget the name of it, but they'll edit with the wrong music, and then they'll get the right music, and usually you'll have somebody write music to the scene, so you edit it with the filler music, and then you show it to the person, and then, or however else you could do it. You don't necessarily have to do it that way, but that would be ideal, right? You have a whole edited scene, and then you can show it to some guy and he just makes music for it.
Yeah, I'm sure it's also much easier when you're trying to like edit everything on a timed frame too.
Yeah,
it's a lot easier.
Yeah. So. Oh, of course. I wish I could remember what it's called. I want to be. Part of me wants to be an actor one day. Part of me, but I can't tell if I
have
can
you taken
do it.
any acting classes? Have you?
No, done none of that. Yeah.
Okay,
but I think I know somewhere in me it's there, but I also know I'm not the best liar. But I don't know if those things are synonymous, right?
I don't think so. I don't think acting is lying. I think acting is playing a character, and I think the character is being truthful. So I think that's not lying. Yeah, I feel like that's the thing. I mean, because it's all made up. It's essentially. I mean, if that's the case, every single improv actor, every single actor is a liar. They're not lying. They're just playing a character, and what they're doing is truthful to that character.
Yeah. Okay.
So. Yeah, I mean, unless like, I don't know, you're doing a cameo and you're playing yourself and then you're lying, but like most actors are not playing themselves.
But even then, that's kind of easier because you're just being a version of yourself. That's easier than playing a character, and in my mind, that would be easier. Like, oh, you're yourself, but you have to do this.
I feel like
I feel like that would be the easiest way to do it. Like that's why that's why people are made fun of when they're the actor who always plays themselves, right? It's like the guy who's on every movie being the same guy. Like who's the guy who's in Free Guy? He's Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
He's always Ryan Reynolds. He's just out now. Ever since Deadpool, he's been Ryan Reynolds. It's never changed.
Yeah, that's fair. You kind of assimilate both of them too together.
Yeah, which is kind of a shame because he's not probably is a better actor than that, but he's just fallen into this. Maybe I don't know.
I feel like that's.
I want to give him a little credit.
That's also Kevin Hart syndrome too. Kevin Hart. It's definitely Kevin Hart syndrome. No shade, but like Kevin Hart always is the funny short friend. Yeah, he's just like the funny short friend that's loud. Like, I mean, it's which is very much him.
I don't think he even cares at this point because this made him so much money being that guy.
Agreed. You know what? Hey, that's the thing. Find your lane, find your niche, and stick to it. And like, if it's paying you that much, do it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, that's what it is.
But I mean, there's different. It just depends on what kind of actor you want to be. Like, if I wanted to be an actor, I'd want to be an actor. I feel like I'd want to take it seriously. I'd want it to
do you want to do more
as
like
serious
film?
As everything
Do you want to do
else.
theater? Would you want to do film, theater, like
film? Probably.
Okay.
I mean, theater's interesting, but it's not really my. It's just not really my thing. I would do it though. I did theater in high school, so I did a play in high school called Almost Maine, and truthfully, I don't think I've ever said this on record.
Ooh.
But the reason I did that play was because I was hoping maybe I would kiss a girl, which I've learned is like a thing that a lot of kids do.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, it
was a romance play, and I'm thinking like, oh, maybe I'm gonna kiss a girl, and so I did. That is what happened. I did have to kiss a girl in the play, so that did happen for me. And
congratulations.
Thank you very much. And so I just remember like a play is a little bit, I don't know, it's kind of scarier than acting on a camera in my mind because you can really fuck it up. Like, it's not like acting on a camera where you're just wasting people's time. It's like people have tickets and they're in an audience, and if you don't say the right words, now your stage partner has to think of what to do because they're just standing there like an idiot waiting for you to say the right words so they can say the right words. And
I think it's also harder because when you're acting on, well, yes, to all you were saying, but also when you're acting on stage, you have to be so big. Yeah, like your facial expressions have to be big, your voice has to be big, your presence has to be big because you have to everyone from the front to the back has to see what you're doing and see your emotions. And whereas on film, like, it'll pick it up regardless.
And there's no room for subtlety.
And there's no room for subtlety.
Yeah, like you'd be able to do so many subtle things with your acting on a film or a movie. You don't have to go jump around and do all this. And
so like,
I just saw a clip the other day, or I saw it probably months ago now. I'm doing the stand-up comedy thing. Oh, I just saw it yesterday.
Okay.
I just saw this clip yesterday. And it was Ben Stiller, where he was dancing around, and it was like him on stage doing, I didn't even know he did theater stuff, but it was him doing some type of play. And he's just being so physical and going all over the place. And I've never seen him act like that. But it's exactly what you just said. It's because it's theater, and you have to do that during theater. Like, he doesn't do that. Well, for one, he wasn't as famous yet, so he probably was trying to prove himself.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
But also the fact that it was theater. So, you're in front of a film camera. You don't have to do that anymore. I mean...
is there like a role that you would like to play? Like, is there
that's a great question. That's a fantastic question. I don't know, because that's... When I did theater stuff in school, I remember there was like a thing where it was in theater class, and you would pick a scene and you had to do the scene, and I was a mafia leader, and I thought like that would be a fun role to play in a movie, because I think I would just do the Departed accent. I'm trying to do it right. I would do the Departed accent that Leonardo DiCaprio does. I'll try to get that right and just do it just like that, because I think that would be the way to do it in the movie. If I could get that right and just do this. But I'm hoping it would be something like that where that would be fitting. Maybe I would come from that type of city or something like that. See, I know it's not even that good of an accent, but it's just
there's
good
potential.
enough.
There's potential. Like,
there.
And also like, I feel like with the hat and then the goatee, like that also like selling it to me. So like, I can see it.
Exactly right. If I'm all dressed up, makeup artist just finished. Okay, and then what else? What's another? That's such a great question. What type of role would I want to play? I mean, it's like if it's like professional wrestling, because I mean, one thing I've always wanted to do is be a manager in professional wrestling. Not a wrestler,
are you a big
but a manager.
WWE, or do you watch wrestling a lot?
I keep up with it at this point.
Okay.
Like, I don't watch it every single time it's on.
Okay.
But I do keep up closely.
I'm the same. I keep up very much closely with the WWE. And
Glad
everything.
to hear that.
Yeah, I love it. It's like, I'm not even a guilty pleasure, but I feel like a lot of people are like shocked when they hear that. I think because I'm a very gay person.
I mean, there's plenty of stuff for gay people in WWE. Are you crazy?
What do you mean? It's all for gay people. It's all for gay people.
I'm always, my gay friend, he's not into it, and I'm always like showing him, like, come on, look, it's just for you.
It is so gay. Wrestling is so gay. It's so gay. Like, but it's so fun at the same time. I call it like, it's like, I mean, because, oh my God, like these like hot, big ass, muscular men in these like tight little Speedos pressing each other. I literally have watched YouTube compilation videos of like WWE's most sus moments, because like the shit that they be saying is I'm gonna get, like, oh my God, Hulk Hogan, I'm gonna get in your ass, kid. Oh my God, like it's too good. I call it like straight soap operas,
and that's exactly what it is when it's done right. See, that's the thing that I think. I don't know if you're familiar with AEW.
Yes, All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think that what they do is they don't do that as well as WWE, where the soap opera thing, where it just feels big and serialized and all connected. And AEW had so much promise when it first came along, but I was really hoping, because the thing is, WWE needs a competitor. That's kind of my whole problem with modern WWE, is like Triple H came along, I thought that was going to change it. And they had this weak period from probably 2017 to 2020. But then you had the whole Roman Reigns storyline kind of change everything for a little while.
Which has been going on way too long.
And it's been going on forever.
It's been going on way too long. And they kind of, like, that similar... Okay, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'd like to hear what you have to say. Yeah.
He has just been pushed too much, and, like... I just feel like we need to find like an actual competitor for him. I feel like we get people here and there that are like his main competition. We've had him and Seth Rollins. We've had him and I think currently right now probably him and Cody Rhodes.
And now it's CM Punk.
And I'm just like, we gotta like bring other people up, and I feel like there are so many stars in WWE right now that are like that could not replace him, but could also be pushed to the forefront.
Well, that's again another problem with modern WWE, is they don't push the new talent. They keep relying on nostalgia and old talent and all these things. And what happens is, when you continue to do that, you are going to run out eventually. All these new stars, or all these old stars, are going to leave. You're going to lose Rey Mysterio. You're going to lose Randy Orton. You're going to lose CM Punk. You're going to lose
Edge.
Roman Reigns. You're going to lose Edge. You're going to lose Drew McIntyre. I'm trying to think of all these people who've been around forever, because you still have a lot of them. Sheamus, you'll lose him. I mean, there's so many of them that are still around, but you don't know how much longer. And what you should be doing is what you always do, where you push the younger talent and you highlight younger talent, because that's the whole point of professional wrestling in the first place. You give it to the younger guys and you kind of pass the torch. I mean, the tremendous fuck up of all time for me with that is when they let Brock Lesnar take the Undertaker streak. Still to this day,
that was such a fucking stupid.
I can't believe they did that. It should have been CM Punk the year before. If you weren't going to give it to some new star, because there really wasn't anybody too crazy around that point in time anyway. It should have been CM Punk.
Yeah.
Because he was the year before that. It was CM Punk, then Brock Lesnar. And eventually they did Undertaker versus John Cena, which would have been so fucking cool if it was still the streak, because then it would be like, oh, I really don't know who's going to win this. But instead they did it after the streak. And also, the whole story behind that is it was supposed to be a whole blowout match. It's going to be a 15, 20-minute awesome Undertaker-John Cena match at WrestleMania. But then last minute, they're told, no, it's just going to be a squash match. You're just going to lose in about 2 minutes. Because I want to say, it might have been shorter than that. I can't remember how short it was.
I think it was around like a minute and a half.
So just imagine all this hype, Undertaker versus John Cena. Streak's over, so that's out the window. But still, fuck it. It's Undertaker versus John Cena. I guess this is cool. And then it's a minute long. What is going on?
That was like them really taking the piss out of everything. They feel like they took the piss out of themselves. Like they created this hype with this star, and then it just like crashed.
But they always do stuff like this. And now you had this recent thing in December with John Cena's whole thing ending.
Oh yeah.
He had. I personally didn't hate his heel run, But I think the whole problem with it, I agree with everybody else, it should have been handled better. It was just handled badly. And even John Cena would say that. He would say that it was a good idea and he was on board, but the problem is that all the people who were with it weren't there once it was executed. It was supposed to have to do with The Rock and Travis Scott, and they were supposed to be involved long term, but instead they weren't. So it just looks like John Cena just being pissed off and angry for no reason.
Yeah.
And so John Cena didn't really have a direction. Even then, I thought it wasn't bad. But the problem is, then it just kind of became directionless towards the end. Like when they turned him face, it didn't even make sense. It was like he just came out one week and was like, you know what, guys? Actually, forget all that other stuff. That's literally what the promo was.
Yeah,
he was
that's
like,
why
you know what, guys? Never mind.
That's why I hated it. I was one of the people who he hated. I hated his heel turn. It did seem like he was just like randomly mad at everyone and was trying to be evil for no reason. It
because there was no direction.
There was no direction.
Yeah.
It just felt like, oh, I want to keep this contract going a little bit longer.
How about
so
this,
I got to
though?
keep this going.
You don't think that the narrative that he spun, where it's like, you guys have been terrible to me all these years and I deserved better. I did nothing but win. I've won over and over again, and all you do is Super Cena. All you do is talk about how I bury everybody, and all I do is win. You don't think that's like a powerful enough? Because I thought that was the best he could do, was say something like that.
No, because I think that the problem with the heel turn was that like we know John Cena too much outside of WWE.
Yeah,
we know him as he was on Wipeout. We know him in all those terrible Marine movies. We know him from like all these other movies and being a personality and doing this and doing that. So then for him to kind of come back and now he's this like evil person that's like fuck WWE. It's like it just felt so unauthentic. Like it just did not.
Yeah.
We know him too well outside of WWE for this to actually make sense and to be a believable storyline.
And you know what makes it worse too is that now WWE goes as far as to just break the whole fucking meta and narrative and give you a WWE Unreal show where they just tell you how they write everything. To me, that's the ultimate sin. That right there, because it's like now there's no. The point of wrestling is I'm supposed to be able to watch it and pretend this stuff is real. And
even if on the inside you know it's fake.
Yes.
But you're like, it doesn't matter. I'm watching this. I want to believe it.
And not only that, even they'll play on that. They'll be like, oh yeah, we know that you know that this isn't 100% real, but we know that you think that CM Punk and Seth Rollins really hate each other. Because the whole reason they even had that feud was because they did have public relations like on Twitter where they're talking back and forth and talking shit. So that was real. Seth Rollins did talk shit about CM Punk and CM Punk did talk shit about Seth Rollins just over the years, little jabs back and forth. And so when they're finally having a program together way later, it's like, oh, holy shit. That's real. They really don't like each other. But then it's way less powerful if you show me WWE Unreal and they're both writing it backstage and CM Punk and Seth Rollins are standing in the same room.
Again, I think because now WWE, it feels less of like a wrestling company. It just feels like an entertainment company.
And they're trying, and they've like, Vince was always heading that way. I mean, that's what CM Punk was saying in his whole pipe bomb promo, and then after that he was saying, I'm a professional wrestler, I'm not a sports entertainer, and all this, because that's what they wanted it to be. What is it? Not professional wrestling, but sports entertainment. Is that right? Yeah. So and that's what Vince was trying to rebrand it into, and that's not what it is. But that was around the same time they were trying to have the celebrity guest hosts on Raw all the time. They were really trying to do all these different things, and I actually think that's, in retrospect, better than what UFC is doing and all the like TKO now that they're bought out. I actually think it's work. Now they're doing fucking WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia next year.
Oh yes.
Like what? Like the fuck?
That's why. Okay, that is why I have such a love-hate relationship with like wrestling and WWE, because I think we all know that most of the people that run WWE are like hardcore conservative Republicans, but like this was
I don't even know if that's a conservative like left-right issue. I can't even believe they're like in the name of wrestling. Like what's going on here?
I don't know. Yeah, but
like no, they're not you don't have the mass of wrestling fans in Saudi Arabia. You have them here? Or just go to one of these other countries where you've had this mess. Like, they keep doing Raw or SmackDown in these other countries, like England, and it's fucking crazy. Like, they're doing soccer chants and shit.
Yeah.
Do WrestleMania there. Why are you doing it in Saudi Arabia?
I mean, the money must go very far, and they must be paying them a boatload.
Well, I don't know if you know about the whole thing that Saudi Arabia has been doing. Like, I mean, there was obviously the Riyadh Comedy Festival and all this, but that's another part of this whole thing where it's like you got WWE, you got Riyadh, and then now I guess with golf, they've kind of taken over golf. They have their own golf tournament where they just pay these golfers so much money. It's like an offer you can't refuse. You got The Godfather coming to you, giving you an offer you can't refuse because they have so much oil money or something.
Yeah.
So they're coming to you, they're saying this, and then you're like, oh, I don't know, dude, it's fucking $10 million. $10 million to golf for a year? Are you serious? Like $50 million to golf for a year? And so you start thinking about it, you take the deal. And also the whole thing is like to try to make golf fun. They're trying to make golf fun and cool and different.
Okay.
And so, I don't know, like trap music playing, like got Future there or something. I don't know what they're doing exactly. And you got strippers.
Have you seen, did you watch the Happy Gilmore sequel?
I didn't watch it.
Okay.
But did you? Did
Yes,
you like
I did.
it?
Hated it.
See, that's what I was worried about. That's why I didn't watch it.
I will say it's a big deal because speaking of golf, like I think that was like the movie that tried to make golf cool as well as like continuing that narrative.
The OG is fantastic.
It's good. This one, if you are a huge fan of Happy Gilmore and Adam Sandler, you will love this movie.
You sure?
Yes.
What I heard about it is
I
heard that they did the thing where it's like a modern. I don't like when reboots do this and remakes do this, where you bring back the character, but it's actually kind of a rejection of the original character. Like, remember that story arc in the first one where he overcame all this stuff and he got better? Well, he's actually a fuck up and he's actually a lot worse. And
that was exactly what it was. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I remember
but then he got
that.
better at the end, or I guess he redeemed himself at the end.
But that's the arc of the first movie, right?
Yeah.
This is kind of the same.
I'd hated it because it was just too many cameos. There was too many cameos. Eminem, like there were just too many random people.
I actually kind of just part of me likes just because when's
Travis
the
Kelce.
last time Eminem was even in a movie? Like I'm trying to think. Like was it 8 Mile? Was it fucking 8 Mile? It might have been. Like,
I don't know.
It's been a long time since
been a
Eminem's
while.
made. And I remember seeing 8 Mile and thinking he could be an actor. And then I think he only did like, oh no, you know what? It's The Interview. That's the last one where he said he was gay.
Wait, what?
You remember the movie The Interview where it's the
yes.
dictator?
Oh my
Is
God.
it The Dictator? What is it? It's The Interview. Yeah.
Yes.
And they're like, in these lyrics, you said you were gay, Eminem. Is that true? Yes, that's all true. He just comes out.
Oh God,
Which,
yeah.
when I watch that, I
haven't
always
seen the
think,
movie in so long.
whose idea was it? Did they go to? Because it wouldn't make any sense if you did it with any other rapper. It has to be Eminem. So did they go to Eminem and they were like?
I think they probably brainstormed it, and he was like, "What if I just said this?" Like, it felt like it was
But
maybe.
it only works if he says he's gay. Like it's only funny if he says all that stuff I said about being gay is true. Like that's so funny for Eminem of all people to say. Like all that stuff I said in the '90s.
The last thing I saw Eminem in was he was in that Netflix rap competition show Hustle and Flow.
So he was in something.
He
that
was
on a show. Was he himself or was it?
He was a guest judge.
Oh, that's different. Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like that's the last like televised like thing I've seen him in was like he was a guest judge on Hustle and Flow.
You know, the only podcast I've ever seen him on is Mike Tyson's. Believe it or not,
Really?
He did Mike Tyson's podcast.
Oh,
yeah.
Does he not like doing podcasts or something?
Well, I actually think he's better for it. It's Kendrick Lamar's the same way, where it's like they're just kind of these people you never really see or hear from, and they're just so famous they can do that. You know, like you really don't. They don't have to follow the rules of modern society.
I don't know nothing about them, but
you don't have to.
And I don't want to. You know, I kind of like. I want to know about you through your music. And you know what? I'd rather keep it that way. Yeah.
But I mean, like for most people, that's just impossible. Like I think with social media in general, you have to be like just famous enough to where people are going to just look at whatever you do no matter what, because otherwise it is a constant battle to get to that spot. Like it's constantly like, and then when you're there you're never done, like you're never finished, but it's always like getting people to even care enough to look in the first place, because otherwise it's like what the fuck, like for me it's like with music, like okay, I know I'm good at music, but how the fuck do I get enough people to care enough to where I could say like, oh, I'm going on tour, and then I don't have to worry about all, like I just have people that are dedicated and that would care. I mean, a comedian same thing. Okay, I want to go on tour. I want to go to these different cities.
Yeah.
How do I get to the point where I can just say I'm going here, 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 and here, and we'll sell tickets in all those different cities? Like, that's really the goal, I imagine.
I think it's like the cliche of just like finding your audience and finding your niche, and then kind of like essentially going with that. And then like if you find your crowd, they will follow. You know, like for instance, you know who's somebody who like I aspired this level of like maybe not fame, but kind of like what you were saying, where it's like maybe not super famous, but like if I say I'm going someplace, we're gonna sell out and we're gonna have a great time. Rebecca Black.
It's Friday,
but guess what? She is popping. She has over 1 million followers on Instagram. Yeah. She was just at what's that like really famous like house club here in Chicago. It's like somebody knows this.
Well, it was recent though, right?
It was recent. And she's making her music. She's touring. She's all over the world. Nobody knows what the fuck she is doing. Nobody knows exactly what she's doing. But if she blasts that she's going to be somewhere, it's going to sell out. It's a popping thing for her.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. She's like the perfect level of fame.
The
like
perfect
the
level
perfect
of fame.
level, yeah.
She could probably walk down the street and maybe get recognized, but like maybe not. She could go out and not necessarily feel like, oh my God, I'm going to get paparazzi or something like that. But then guess what? Like she has a dedicated fan base. She has plenty of people that like know what she's doing and will come out to support her. But then also can just like chill and do her own thing in the meantime. Like she is like the perfect level of like fame and successful.
Oh my gosh. It just seems, fame actually seems miserable when you're actually famous. That actually seems like it would suck. That's why, and I don't think, like, it would be hard to know when you're in the Goldilocks period. Like, if you're trying to get famous, or when to stop. Like, it would be hard to stop at the right spot.
When you say the Goldilocks period, like, what do you mean?
It'd be like the Rebecca Black period.
Oh, the Rebecca Black. Okay, yeah, that's fair. Mm-hmm.
Right in there. Like, where you're in the Goldilocks stage. Because, you know, the Goldilocks story, right? Where
yeah.
You know, it's in the middle, and then you got too hot, too cold. Because once you get too far, once you get too famous, you never go back. There's no going back.
There is no going back unless you purposely try to cancel yourself, which that doesn't even count at this point.
No, even then, that's worse.
People, yeah, exactly.
Imagine taking the train now.
Like, I mean, no one will ever be, there will never probably be another, but like, imagine like someone like Beyonce. Like, that must just, I mean, I'm not saying I feel bad for her by any means, because it's like, you know, she has a great life. But like, just imagine like, she can't ever go anywhere.
Right, yeah.
If you're Beyonce, if you're Lady Gaga, you can't go anywhere.
So this is
have to go. You can't go shopping. You can't go to the grocery store. You can't go out to you have to go someone. And then if you get mail, 3 or 4 people have to check your mail. Like, you have no privacy. Like, it's just, I cannot imagine being that level. I mean, I probably never will, so I don't have to worry about it. But like, it's just crazy. Just think about that.
Yeah, not being able to check your mail is crazy. Mm-hmm. What put it in perspective for me, I'll never unhear this. It was MrBeast talking on a podcast, and he was talking about going from 10 million to 100 million subscribers. And he said at 10 million subscribers, you know, it was super famous. It was crazy. But at 100 million, now he can't go to Walmart anymore without being like just surrounded by people. Now he can't go to another country without people being like they're waiting at the airport. He can't do any of these things anymore. Well, he could do that at 10 million. He can't do that at 100 million. And it just like, that is such a crazy scale that you'd never even be able to think about. So to hear someone like him say something like that, it makes me think like, how does fame even work? Like, and then I think like, okay, so someone once said to me, Snoop Dogg is the most famous rapper ever. And that's probably true. Like, who's more famous as a rapper than Snoop? Like, who's more recognizable worldwide? I mean, he's doing the Olympics. He's doing all this. He probably is the most recognizable. So just imagine being Snoop Dogg.
I can't think of anybody.
Snoop Dogg can't go outside. Snoop Dogg can't do anything anywhere. Like, how famous is Snoop Dogg? He's probably one of the most famous people on earth, other than a politician.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
he's so famous.
He's transitioned to the rock world. The Martha Stewart fans.
The Rock's probably one of the most famous people on earth. Now I think about it.
Yeah, The Rock is probably one of the most famous people on the earth. Let me think. Okay, so
and just like what even is Beyonce, like you said,
Beyonce, Britney Spears,
I don't know.
Lady
Would
Gaga,
she be recognized in other
Oprah
countries?
Winfrey.
Like if you had a Beyonce in other countries, because I think The Rock would be recognized since he's in so many movies.
Beyonce would be recognized everywhere she went.
Yeah,
everyone knows who Beyonce is.
Yeah, Beyonce.
Yeah, SNL, Kate McKinnon, everyone is a Beyonce fan. Seth.
Yeah. Trump has become one of the most famous people of all time.
Unfortunately.
It has happened. You know, it's so funny because you would have never predicted he would be so famous. Like, you would have just never guessed that. You would have always thought we'd just forget about him. He'd just be a guy Mac Miller mentioned in a rap song.
Yeah, that's where we would have liked him to have stayed. And it's just crazy. Like, is he famous or infamous?
That's a good question. What do you mean? What's the distinction?
Because I feel like you can be famous, but infamy is like mainly that you're known for something that's not good. Like, for instance, like, this is a random one. Casey Anthony. Would we say that she's famous, or would we say that she's infamous? Would we like, she's famous for something? I don't know. It's a terrible thing.
One of my favorite Childish Gambino quotes: "Made the beat and murdered it." Casey Anthony. Just such a great line.
That's a bar right there. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like fame and infamy are two different things. I feel like you can be known for something that's not good, and you can be primarily like more or less hated for it, and then I feel like you're infamous because then when you bring that name up, this is that kind of response where it's like, oh shit. And so kind of like when for most of America, if you bring up like Trump, they're like, ugh, or whatever. But like, so I feel like he's maybe more like at this point infamous than like famous per se.
That's a good question.
So, but I don't know. What do you think?
Versus infamous? I don't know, because I mean, like, I think it's one of those things where it's probably infamous, but only time will tell. But at this point, I mean, probably infamous. I mean, it only gets worse. It only gets worse and worse and worse. But I think what you really have to see is the domino effect that happens after it's all over and you got the domino effect. Does it just boomerang back? Because if so, I guess that was just a bad period. But if it gets worse and it just keeps swinging and keeps swinging, all right, well, then maybe we're going to go infamous, because I mean, you could look at him as where it all just gets real wonky. I mean, like, no matter how you feel about politics, you look at him and that's where it all changes.
He's just a fucking dumbass. Like, he doesn't make any sense. Like, I saw an article the other day where he said he was planning to run in for president in 2028. You dumb fuck. You can't run 3 times. That's lit.
You can't, if you're on your second term, you can't go for a third term. I thought another president did that.
No.
You're like, if you're
in the Constitution, presidents can only complete 2 terms.
Wasn't it Teddy Roosevelt though, or somebody else?
But he only did 1 term.
Are you sure? I swear a president back in the day got reelected and then he did 2 terms after his first. But I might be wrong. Maybe it was 2 and then 1.
This. I don't think that happened.
I want to say it was Teddy Roosevelt. I might be wrong too. I actually
Let's
don't
find
know.
it out. But no, he literally stated that he was going to run for president in 2028. The Constitution literally states that you can't do that.
Has a president ever had 3 terms? Or is it? Yeah, it's Freddie Roosevelt. Roosevelt.
He had 3 terms.
FDR is the only U.S. president to serve more than 2 terms, winning elections in 1932, 1936, 1940, and 1944. What the fuck?
What?
He just fucking ruled the U.S. He served over 3 full terms before dying in office during his 4th term in 1945. This led to the 1951 ratification of the 22nd Amendment, limiting presidents to 2 terms. Oh, so it was in 1951. Right after that, they limited it.
Okay, gotcha. They limited it, yeah. No, that is the tongue twister. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like, what's the name? Timberland.
4 terms. So he was just such a baller that they just loved him. But afterwards, they're like, okay, we can't do that.
They're like, he died, and they were like, okay, actually, you know what? We gotta calm down. We gotta chill, guys. Okay. He's gone now.
Maybe towards the end, everybody was gassing him up, but he was just acting like crazier and crazier. But everybody was gassing him up because they liked him so much, you know? He got so many yes men around, and everybody else was like, all right, hold on.
Right, and then he died, and they were like, whew, okay.
But it's history, so, you know, we're just reading the book. We don't actually know. Like, this guy was fucking going wild. I mean, isn't Franklin Roosevelt, he's not the one that, I know one of the presidents was disabled and no one ever saw him from, like, standing. But it wasn't him. That was somebody else.
I actually don't know.
I think Franklin Roosevelt was the one who, like, fought in wars and all this. He was the president who actually fought in wars. And,
yeah, Trump would never.
Can you imagine? I don't think most, I mean, like Zelensky, that was his whole thing, but I don't think most modern politicians would fight in wars. And I don't even know how much Zelensky really was. Like, can you imagine a modern politician on a war front? Like, that's crazy that like 200 years ago, that was normal. You had like George Washington
just out there. All right, men. And they're like,
go inside,
like,
bro.
don't you have to like, shouldn't you be like watching? You have a bill to sign. Don't you be talking to the people? Like, you chill. I get it.
This is not Braveheart.
I appreciate the enthusiasm. Like, it's okay. You know what? They said 300. We can do 299. We're good with 299. Like, you can go back. My God.
The commander is right there.
Right, exactly.
Just go.
It was like, you told me to sit down. Like, I don't know. Like, he's the president. My God. But
and that's just the way it was. You just had to do that. You had to be like out there actually with the fucking spike in your hand, ready to go.
I guess so. But
Javelin.
So he can't run for 3 terms. He's an idiot. And
no. You think you could be a politician?
Hell no. I don't even consider myself like necessarily like a super like political person. I like keep up with politics and I have like feelings about it.
That's
obviously.
exactly what you need now.
But
your attitude is perfect for politics.
Yeah, that is so true. It's like, I don't know shit what's happening, but like I keep up.
You just have to go out there and say that.
I read the HuffPost. No, I would never be a politician. I don't have the patience, and I don't like people enough to really care for people, which I don't think most politicians do. But I also don't have a greed and need for power either.
See, yeah, that's what you need.
So yeah. I don't care. I don't need to have the power. I don't need to have all of like the everyone knowing me. Yada yada. I don't need that. And also most politicians don't get paid. We get paid terribly for the most part. So yeah, nah, I'm good. I would step away from that. But would you?
No.
Yeah.
No. It seems like a really bad idea. It seems like probably one of the worst ideas anybody could ever have.
It really does.
If you really wanted to like be a good politician, because like you said, if you have greed and you have like all this, well, dude, it's like the best job ever. Like if you're willing to like sell your soul and just do whatever, that's kind of what politics is. You're supposed to just toe the party line and do the right thing. That's politicking. That's what politics is being not democratic, but being what's the word I'm looking for? Diplomatic.
Yes.
Being diplomatic and just playing that middle ground to where you are going to get the best thing for yourself. And that's why I think a two-party system is what fucks us over the most in the end, because that's not really how most people think, but most people are going to toe the party line, and most people are going to play the side they're supposed to play. And in the end, what you end up getting is just two shitty options every single time.
Pretty much
just
every single
keeps
time.
happening, and it's never going to change. It's not going to get better.
It's not.
And we have this system where third party is impossible. You just can't do it. And everybody who says third party, I believe them. I agree with the principle that third party should exist, because that's my whole point. But I think America itself and the system we have, third party is impossible. You have to have so much money, and you can't get on the debates, and like they make it impossible for you to run third party. So like, yeah, I can vote for that person, but they're not going to campaign or get the same level of sponsorship, because the whole thing is about who can get the most money.
Yeah, and it is, and it's just unfortunately the money never goes to the independents or the third parties. Yeah, and it's just fucked. I was actually having a conversation with my boyfriend about that. We were talking about how like wanting to like root for the third party individuals, because they do tend to be in like the middle of like either, you know, if you're not like super incredibly liberal, if you're not super incredibly conservative, they're like normally in the middle, which most people tend to be. Yeah. There have been so many like conservative Democrats that have been coming out, and then on the flip side of the coin, there have been so many Democratic conservatives that have been coming out with being like, I don't necessarily agree with this, or I don't agree with that, you know, especially with everything that's going on with Trump. There have been so many Republicans that are like, all right, I don't know if I agree with what he's saying. Like, you know, I think there was like, what's the senator, and I think some like one of the red states, like Wyoming or something, he was like, look, when Trump made the racist monkey video towards Michelle and Barack, like there were so many like senators from red states like, you know, I don't know if I agree with that, but you know, this is a country. And so there's been so many people that kind of like toe that line. And so we were having a conversation about how we would love to have a more open political field and not just have to choose between like one or two, because most of the time people are in the three. But it's just like this country is just built off of one or the other. It's literally built off of decisions. You're either gay or straight. You're either a boy or a girl. You're either this or that. You're like the country is literally built off of just like black and white. Literally, actually, it's like you're this or you're not. Like, like you're rich or you're poor.
And you
like,
know what's interesting
and
is,
so it's just like, I wish people were more open minded.
well, I remember, I wish I could remember. I want to say it's I'm not gonna remember their name, but it's a book about Zen Buddhism, and it's just breaking down Zen Buddhism. And it's one of the people who just really was involved with the whole movement of it in the 60s, 70s, 80s. And in the book, it's talking about how we think in like a this versus that mentality, like that is yin versus yang, like a this versus that. And that's actually a survival mechanism, right? You would have to do that to survive. You'd have to think us versus them, this versus that, like me versus nature. And so you extend that into everything, and that becomes your framework for reality. But the problem is that's not reality. That's the survival mechanism. And what's really happening is the whole. The yin and the yang make the whole, and the whole is the duality of both. And it's the duality all the time. It's not this or that. It's both all the time.
All the time.
And
right.
I think like
that's a good way to put it.
But people don't think that way at all. And I think that more than ever, we don't think that way. Like I think, I don't think that any religion is correct, but I think that humans have the urge for meaning and understanding, and I think that we are a religionless people. Like we don't have religion anymore. We used to, I mean, look back 500 years. Society was ruled by religion, but then you have the Renaissance and all this, and that's the whole stepping away from religion into this whole new thing. And now we're in this weird spot where we have religion, but not really.
No, not really. Yeah. It's like not even religion. It's like what's the word? Like, it's just something. It's something to believe in. It's just like it's like a figure to follow.
Yeah,
I think that's really what it is. That's like, do you believe in God?
I believe in something.
Okay.
I believe in God.
Okay,
yes,
gotcha.
I believe that, but God is a term that people could define in all sorts of ways, I suppose. You know, like whatever you think is God might be different than what I think is God. Like I think we're all sort of God in a sense. You know, like if God is anything, we're all an extension of that. Would make the most sense to me. Like we're all like an
extension of the principles that God has created.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel that. And so a lot of people just want something to believe in, because a lot of times when you look at the Conservative Party, they really rely on, well, the Lord says, and the Bible is written as. It's like, okay, so you just don't necessarily have your own freedom of thought. So you're just following a doctrine of some man that you don't even really know if he exists, but you just want to believe that he exists. And so now you're just basing your entire morality off of that. Right. That's what people want, because a lot of people are not born with an innate moral compass. They are raised to have a moral compass based off of like religion or whatever, no matter what your religion is. And so that's just what it is. And so I don't believe that organized religion is a scam. It is. And I just feel like people just want to believe it because that's all they know.
Yeah. And it's a shame that religion itself has been co-opted in the ways that it has throughout the years. Shout out all my popes, shout out all my priests, you know what it is.
Hey, Leo.
But I mean, it's just, it's because I think ultimately you should want something greater, and there is more to life than just basic reality, and those things are healthy to think, and that's good. Like even if it's not true, it's probably better to believe that. I do think that.
But don't you think that some people just kind of like fall in line with like the normality, because like they just know that that's just what's going to get them to like a societal like
What do you mean
acceptance?
Fall in line to normality? What do you mean?
Like I feel like it's just like very normal to like believe in God, to pray to God. If you pray to God, everything will happen. I feel like more people would just like fall in line with that mentality than like, I don't know, naturally be a good person and do things because they are good rather than because it'll get you to heaven or because that's what you think you should do.
But I would go as far as to argue that that's a misunderstanding of what the basic principles of religion are supposed to be. I mean, religion's not about doing the right things so you get to heaven. Like, and I think most religions, it's like it's almost like a rule book for getting along with each other. That's the whole point of religion. Is, I mean, there's a right here. There's this book called The Power of Myth, if you know that. What'd you say?
I said, ooh, plug.
The Power of Myth, and it's by Joseph Campbell.
Okay.
And I remember when I discovered him, like, there's a couple different, I think it was this interview. That's the book itself, The Power of Myth. It's like the whole interview, but the interview is from something he did with NBC, I want to say. And Bill Moyers, he's the guy who did the interview, and it's such a great interview. And it's about the whole thing with Joseph Campbell is he's talking about myth and the whole point of myth and how he came up with the whole hero's journey idea, where it's like basically the template of every story ever, because the Epic of Gilgamesh was the first story ever written, if you know anything about that. That's like that was from the Mesopotamians. So right before the Egyptians, you got these guys, and they wrote the Epic of Gilgamesh. And it kind of is like the basis of most religions, even, like where it's the hero's journey. It's like you have a transformation. You have a character that goes from this to this. And it's always about, losing something and sacrifice and transformation. And there's always these like principles of the story where in the end, like they have to go through this big scary thing that's like, an evolution of themselves will come out through in the end, but it's scary, and there's all these scary things you have to deal with, like there's a dragon or something. It's kind of like just the template of all the stories ever. And so it's interesting how the Bible really, when you look at it through that perspective, it becomes a whole bunch of stories that are just trying to tell you principles. They're just trying to give you an idea of how things work. Like the whole idea of the Garden of Eden, a lot of that is more so to do with like, when they first cover up their private parts with fucking leaves. It's like, it's the idea of that being shameful and covering that up, and that idea, like it's trying to communicate that through a story. And then a lot of the Bible is just that, or like, the snake and the temptation of sin and all this. Like, I think there's a lot you could learn from the idea of sin, and sin is always there, and it's always waiting for you, and you can always be tempted by it. And the snake is right there all the time, because that is true. It just depends on what you think a snake is and what you're looking at like a snake. So, it depends what you take from those stories. And I think people take the wrong things, is my ultimate point, right? People look at religion and they think religion is just, one, a way to fucking steal money from people, because a lot of time it is. And then two, a way to rule over people, because that's what it was for a long time. And three, they just look at it as a way to control people. Like, this is how you get to heaven, so you have to do this, this, and this. And so, you grow up in a religious family, and they're all controlling, and you naturally don't want to do that. And so, and I think it's ultimately a shame, because I think ultimately religion, you can learn a lot, just like you can learn a lot from pretty much anything. You can learn a lot from religion.
You can just been like abused, because like that was mostly what my household was like the latter, what you said about being like using religion as a way of control and as a way to like doctrine like your life. And especially like I grew up in like a Christian Baptist household.
Oh, there you go.
And so it was like very much like that, like you have to follow this doctrine, if not you are going to go to hell. Like that was something that I was like taught and like told multiple times growing up. So it kind of was like it was like a fear tactic, and we were taught that like hell is this like terrible place, and if you do any little thing, if you don't do this, if you don't do exactly what the Lord is telling you to do, you are going to go to hell, no matter what. Even if you do it once, you are then destined for hell. And so I think it is kind of, I guess was like taught to believe that. And then again, similarly, like it never clicked with me. Like it never did. Like I always knew that like this doesn't seem real. Like this doesn't seem like, because I agree with you. Like I do believe that like at its core, religion is just essentially just teaching you how to be a good person and respect other people and treat other people with kindness. I think certain religions and certain practices just abuse it and use it to kind of control people in a way that they think that they should, not even necessarily what they want, but how they think they should.
No taxes, brother.
Whereas like the preachers be living lovely, the preachers and the deacons be living lovely in the churches, while everybody else is giving out their last dollars at tithes and offering.
I just need to start a cult. That's what I gotta
do. The era of cults. Do you think we could have like besides religion, do you think there could ever be anything like a modern day cult? I don't know.
It's not as easy anymore.
It's not as easy.
The problem is there's too much exposure, There's just too much. Because, the thing that people don't understand about Scientology, because that's really the last great cult, and the last man standing in a sense.
Oh my God.
Because all the other ones like suicided themselves out of the world or something. Like, you know, every cult usually ends. Usually cults go bad, and like, you know, it's midnight and the moon's passing. All right, everybody lay down and drink the Kool-Aid. Like, that's usually how cults go. But for some reason, Scientology, I mean, they just had a longevity plan. They had it figured out. The difference, though, the reason that Scientology is in the spot it's in is because when it came around and when it was made and they were coming up with the whole story and L. Ron Hubbard was, you know, brainstorming, you were never supposed to be able to know. It was supposed to be behind all these paywalls. Just so impossible to find this information. They never predicted the internet. They never knew the internet was going to exist. No. How could they have known that? And so when the internet came along, people could start saying, oh, this Scientology thing is a scam. There's this monster named Xenu, and he existed thousands of years ago, and it was on a different planet, and all of our souls have actually existed 50 times, and I'm the 52nd reincarnation of myself, but really I think I'm Xenu, but I don't know if I'm Xenu yet because I got to get to level 9. You know, it's like and you learn there's so much information you can find now. I mean, there's YouTube channels of people who, you know, have spent all this money towards Scientology that have left, and now they're speaking out about it. And Scientology then in turn says that these people are crazy and that these people are disparaging them, and then they send people to harass these people, and because Scientology is nuts and they will follow you and they will send people to harass you, and that's why you probably shouldn't even step foot in their headquarters. So you shouldn't even do it, because who knows, they might just have AI that detects your face, and all of a sudden they have everything about you, and they're gonna start emailing you. It's fucking Scientology, dude.
And then like also on top of social media, I think that they also had a thing where they had too many celebrities speaking out against it. Because wasn't Leah Remini like a big Scientologist, or she was in Scientology?
Well, I guess you could say that Tom Cruise was a big promo. But even when he blew up with the whole thing, because it was him and who's the guy from Face? John Travolta. He was also a big Scientologist, and he still is. But when Tom Cruise had that big video leaked, if you remember that, it was like him talking about Scientology and how if you learn it, your life's going to get instantly better. And that was supposed to be a video that no one was supposed to see. It was supposed to be just like you show that to new recruits, but it got leaked on the internet and everyone was making fun of it. Like, look how crazy this looks. But I honestly think it's one of those all promo is good promo situations where it probably got more people talking about Scientology. Just the average Joe, dude, the average guy, he's not paying attention to that whole story. He just hears, Tom Cruise, Scientology, and then he thinks maybe I'll join. That's how it works. So it probably was good. But when it comes to Leah Remini, that's exactly what I'm talking about. She was the first one to really do it, where she came out and I think she had an A&E show. And
it was something, and then I remember she did like some interview on some daytime talk show. It may have been like The Talk or like The Real or something like that. I know she talked a lot about it there too. But yeah.
I know she went on Joe Rogan. I think she was. I want to say she wrote a book at the same time. Like, it was this whole thing, and then, which, you know, she was so recognizable because everybody knew her from King of Queens. So everybody's like, oh, her. Like, I know her. And her story was crazy. Like, I don't know if you ever heard her whole thing.
I had like I didn't hear the whole thing, but like I got like a good synopsis of it.
I mean, they made her go to Florida for like a detention, and she had to stay there, and she couldn't talk to anybody, and her whole family was part of Scientology, so it's like she's getting shamed by it's not just her, it's like her family is shaming her. And you know, she I think she had drank one night, and you can't drink, so that was a huge problem. I think that's why she had to go to Florida for detention, because she drank, and she said something disparageable about Mr. Miscavige. You know, she said something bad about the big guy upstairs, and so she got sent to, because that's where their headquarters is Clearwater, Florida.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah,
that makes so much sense.
They have a huge once on this podcast, I had a guy in here named Seth Stoles. I just want to say it's like around episode 50 or so. And he told me he lived in Clearwater, Florida, and he would see these people wait around outside, and they're all dressed up in red, and they would have this van come by, and they would just get picked up, and it looked like a cult. Like, it looked like a cult. We're all out there, we're wearing like red jumpsuits, and we're just standing outside on the side of the road, like waiting for a van to pick us up every single morning. because it's fucking Edgewater where Scientology is. That's what you'll see.
Squid Game.
Yeah, it's like fucking Squid Game. And this is normal for Scientologists because they're so ingrained in this way of thinking, you know. I think we all do this where we all get so caught up in our own lives. We think, well, how could somebody fall for that? Like, how could somebody...
Right.
But it's just...
But you have to really remember that, like, not everybody... Like, some people are really, like,
they're
down
lost
on their luck and they're lost.
You remember we said about religion?
And they find those people specifically that are that way.
Yeah, I mean, somebody who needs some type of guidance, some type of God, some type of religion, you present to them the answer. Mm-hmm. You come to them and you say, hey, this is exactly it. You know, we'll just give you a reading. I think I can see a lot in you. I mean, like, if you look at the core basics of Scientology, you look at the core idea, because, I mean, that's how, again, you weren't supposed to know all this other stuff. It was supposed to be the internet. No internet, so you just walk up and they have a pamphlet and you just read that. It's like Jehovah's Witnesses. So it's on the core, on the face of it, it's mostly true. It seems mostly right, like what they're saying. Like, you know, even for a while it seems true because they're talking about shedding personalities and that you have all these personalities layered on top of your regular personality. And like those things aren't inherently bad ideas. But it's just that they then extend that into these personalities are actually your past selves that you need to kill or something. Like that's what it ends up becoming.
Because they just want like a blank canvas that they can manipulate and just like make into their own.
And that's really, I mean, and you know, what's interesting about Scientology is that it's the one where they're not fucking people. That actually might be why it didn't go wrong because they never fucked everybody. That's how cults tend to end. They just end up fucking. You find out, oh, he was just fucking everyone. But Scientology, nope. They're just wild. They're just taking you to Florida,
which is number one red flag. We're going to Florida. See, again, that's what I can do. I'm like, but we gotta go to Florida. Can we go to like Tennessee?
You know
what's
so funny?
Can we go?
With WWE again, I remember when everything closed in 2020 and WWE wanted to keep going, and the only way they could do it is guess what? Florida.
Yes. Then oh my god, and then they would have those like quiet matches. Like
you see your guys going.
Yes, and that's all you hear because there's no audience members. It's just them in the ring and then the announcers, and it was so crazy to like hear. And you just hear them, and then the mat and stuff like that.
Later on, they kind of figured it out because later on they started to do stuff like if you saw the Bray Wyatt John Cena match, or if you saw the. I think Undertaker AJ Styles match where they would do these cinematic things where you literally couldn't do it if you had an audience and you were doing a normal match. It's like the Bray Wyatt one was like he takes John Cena through a fever dream, and John Cena, it was like a fun Firefly Funhouse match, a Firefly Funhouse match, which if you don't know, that was his whole gimmick. It was like a kids TV show, and but it would be ultimately sinister because that was Bray Wyatt. He's this scary monster type character, and so he's fighting John Cena, and he takes John Cena through his subconscious, and so like there's a point where John Cena's dressed like Hulk Hogan doing the NWO thing and all this, and it's pretty cool because of the novelty of it, because you could only have that if there's no audience and you're doing. It was WrestleMania. It was a WrestleMania match, so like you couldn't imagine that in any other scenario. And I think he had Bray Wyatt had a couple other matches with people like that, so it was always cool. He was one of the people who could take advantage of that, but for the most part, so awkward. And then there was also the UFC was doing it, so I can only imagine how the announcers felt, because like normally you can't the announcers, you can't hear them in the ring when you're fighting as a UFC fighter because there's all this commotion. But if it was no audience, you just hear this guy and
like you must feel like, God damn, Jesus Christ, that happened to me. Oh my God, that happened to me.
Probably gassing you up,
right? Literally, you're like, yeah, I'm getting him. Okay, shit, damn, I didn't think it was that hard, but I guess it was. Oh my God, that happened to me once before when I was performing, and it was like my second time in drag, and I did my performance. It was terrible. It was freaking time. It looked a mess. And then we did like a curtain call, and then like the announcer is like, the host is like, oh my God, welcome back to the stage. At the time, my drag name was Alize. So give it up for Alize. And then like I walk on stage, and then I'm like feeling myself. I had a few drinks or whatever. So then I do a little spin, and then I tumble in my heels, and but I don't just like fall. Like I'm doing the thing where like the ankles go back in and out, and I'm falling. And then as like I'm falling to the ground, all I hear is ooh 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 ooh. I'm just like, damn, bitch, why you narrated me falling? like my ankles are wobbling, and each wobble, she's like, ooh.
That's the sassiest thing somebody could do, you know?
I was like, damn, bitch.
Oh,
and I
man.
just like get up and was so mad. So mad.
I'm gonna pee real quick.
Okay, go have fun.
So funny. That is a hilarious story.
It was so
I got roasted.
for real, without saying anything. I was like, God damn, why you gotta do me like that?
We produce a show with Dan Cass. With Dan Cass. It is called what now? Tell me about it.
Okay. So me, him, Dan Cass, and Joy Gamby, we all produce a show at the Laugh Factory called Lowkey Funny. It's the first Friday of every single month at 9:15, and it's a show that's like produced by people of color and Dan, for people of color and Dan. But yeah, no. So we like to like highlight queer and or POC comedians throughout the Chicagoland and throughout the world. I mean, because people come in all the time from the Laugh Factory, so we just like to put people on that we think are funny and cool and not rude. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And how long have you been a part of that show?
I've been a part of the show since 2023, 2024, maybe.
And that was the show already going on? Or no?
Yeah, this show's been going on for like years. I think it's one of the longest running shows at the Laugh Factory. I came to back up. I did improv when I was in DC. Did that for 6 months. Was terrible at it because I'm not a good actor. I'm not a good actor. I've realized that I'm not the best at it, and I prefer doing stand up. And so then I did improv. My improv teacher told me I should do comedy. We had in DC there's this thing called the Washington Improv Theater. That's like essentially the same thing as like Second City. You take a bunch of courses and then you audition to be on an improv team, and then you do that, et cetera, et cetera. And so then in between level 3 and 4, you have to have a conversation with like your professor to kind of like gear you for like levels 4 and 5. And we met at a cafe, and she sat me down and she was like, you should not do this anymore. You should do stand-up comedy. And I was like, okay, girl, nice to meet you too. Like, what the fuck? And then I was like, why? And then she was like, well, because like improv at the end of the day is like acting, and it's, you know, like involving yourself in a character. You just like to be yourself and be funny, which is like, there's nothing wrong with that, but I think that you should just do stand-up for that reason. And I was like, okay, girl, whatever. And so then I didn't do improv for like a long time. I just kind of like was doing my own thing, and then I went on a trip to Mexico City with my close friends, and then like it was like very eat, pray, love. It was very like.
By the way, she low-key kind of said you're bad at improv.
No, she fully said I was bad at improv. Not low-key. She fully and it was like fine because we were friends, and so like I had known her for some time, so like we were comfortable around each other. But no, she fully was like, you're really bad at improv. You're not a good actor, but you're very funny.
I mean, yeah, exactly. There's the compliment. There's the nice part. It's like you should do stand up. You should. And like, then the part we all know now is that you ended up doing stand up, so it's good.
And so yeah, and then it's funny because
damn,
I right, and she really read me down. I was like, God damn. And at the time I was annoyed because I was like, you're supposed to tell me what to do to get better, not tell me that I'm bad and should do something else. Like, but maybe
that is exactly what you needed to hear, right?
In the long run, she was right. And then I came back, and then I did this Mexico trip was in March, and then I came back, and then I did my first open mic in July of 2019, and then I was doing a bunch of open mics, and I would say I got pretty good pretty fast in the DC scene. There was not really a big stand-up scene going on in DC at the time, and so I feel like I stuck out and was like really like grinding and really got really good really fast. And then I did a show in December of that same year. She came and saw me, and I was like, and she was like, you're doing it. And I was like, I am. And then, yeah. And so, yes, girl, I'm doing it. You said it, and I'm really good. Or no, I was shit at the time, but for 5 months, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
And then I moved here in 2020, March, perfect timing. I moved to Chicago because I wanted to continue to pursue stand-up comedy and couldn't afford New York City. And I really liked Chicago when I visited in September of 2019. So I was like, I'm going to move here. And I didn't do anything. I did a few online shows, which was, oh my God, it was terrible. I mean, I'm sure any comedian
started in 2019, so we can all figure out the timing of all this.
And
right?
I was so, again, like I said, I was so delusional because in DC, like, I really was like really good in DC. Like I want to like boast myself up. I was like consistently booked. I was like, there was this thing called the Comedy Shuffle in DC. I don't think they still do it anymore.
Comedy Shuffle.
It was like, I like to consider it comedy boot camp.
It sounded fun.
It was not. Well, it was okay. It was fun for the most part. So what it was it was an open mic at this place called the Beer Baron Tavern in DC.
Okay.
And it was a Monday open mic where you had to so the mic started at 7. You would have to get there at like 3 or 4 to get, you have to buy something from the bar, and then they would make the list of the open mic from the chronological receipts of people who bought something at the bar. That's how they would keep it, because the reason it was such a popular open mic, because it was the only open mic where you would get like a full audience. Like, it was packed every single Monday, and not just comics, like regular people would come to this open mic and watch because of the gimmick of it. So the gimmick of it was and also like every comedian would go to this open mic, and like there would be 25 spots in total, but then like about 7 or 8 of those spots were like for like actual comics and stuff. So then when you take 7 away, so it'd be like 18 spots, and you have like hundreds of comics trying to get it. It was very competitive. But so you would buy something from the bar, and then they would use your receipt to put you in line based off of the chronological order. And so then you get 3 minutes. You only get 3 minutes to perform. If you do not get, and then there's also a host who's like on the sideline with like a clock and everything, so you see the time counting down. If you don't get a laugh within the first 30 seconds, you are immediately kicked off the stage. Like, they're like, all right, that's been, okay, so for instance, like, all right, so that's been Shawn. Thank you so much, everybody. If you don't get a laugh within 30 minutes, they just like, all right, that's been Shawn, blah, 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 blah. But then, like, if you do get a laugh, you continue on with your 3 minutes, whatever. They would plant people in the audience to purposely heckle you. You don't know when they're going to heckle you. Sometimes you did get heckled, sometimes you didn't get heckled. And, you know, you just never knew what was going to happen. So you had to do it for 3 minutes. And then after those 3 minutes, then you would get critiqued on your set in real time in front of the audience. It was so stressful, but it was also like very fun, because then, like, you know, I had a little part-time retail job, and so I made sure I was always off on Mondays, because then like I would go every single Monday for months, because it was like, that's how you met people. You would meet people in the scene, and then like you would have 4 hours to hang around and do nothing. So then like you would hang around with other comics and talk and write jokes and go shopping, and we would just hang out. It was really fun. And then you would get to it, and then you would see some of the best sets, because everyone was so stressed, because sometimes they would also like be people from like bigger comedy venues. People from the DC Improv would come, people from DC Underground who were booking shows would come, and then they would pick people from the open mic and book them from the shows. I got a reputation of like, after a while, like I did very well with the Comedy Shuffle. I was there consistently, and I was also very funny. And then I remember it was in December 2019. I had this set that was like I locked in for those 3 minutes. Those 3 minutes, I like got on stage. I was like, I really got, because it was one of the guys from DC Improv was there, and I was like, I gotta lock in, because like this is I could do the DC Improv. And then I did it. I killed it. Like, it was so good. Like this, I had people like on like hysterically laughing, and then I'll never forget, the host was like, for all the comics in the back, this is how you do it. Like, get it? Like, this is how you get on the stage and you do it. And she gave me no notes. And she was like, just continue doing what you're doing. Like, she was like, you are really funny and blah, blah, blah. And then from that set me on to be like, well, then that sent me to be like, I'm so good. I've been doing this for months. I need to go to a bigger city and do it. Which, like, I don't disagree with that sentiment. I do maybe disagree with how maybe cocky I kind of got because of it. Looking back, I was doing it for 6 months. I was good, but like wasn't really like, I don't think super ready for like what then would come entail. Because then I moved in February, and then I moved in March, got here, didn't do anything for a year. Like, I did a few online shows. And then in 2021, starting hitting the open mics again, performing and stuff like that. And then it was a harsh reality, because like there were so many funny people here. And then there are so many funny people here. And I just wasn't ready for it. Like I very much had I had big fish, small pond energy. I was a big fish because I was the only gay comedian in DC. at the time. There was no other queer comedians in DC. So I stood out for that reason a lot. There were not a lot of comics, or not as many comics as there were in Chicago. And so I came here and I was like, my shit don't stink. I'm gonna fucking storm the scene.
Are you familiar with Martin Phillips?
Yes-ish, not so much, but a little. Yeah.
I mean, he got popular on Kill Tony. He's one of the golden ticket people. I had him on the podcast because he came to Chicago when the Killers of Kill Tony did the Zanies thing for Roast Battle. But he's from DC, and he was talking to me about the DC scene and how like it was bigger than you'd think it is. Like, is that true in your experience, that it's bigger than most people would expect it to be?
Yeah, I agree. It's bigger than what you would think it is. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that just don't. There's a lot of open micers. There's not like a lot of like, I guess you could say, working comics, but there's a lot of people. It's just compared to Chicago, it's not that big.
Yeah. And so when you came here. Pond. Yeah.
It was big, and then I got here and I was like, oh my god, there's so many funny people. Oh my god, there's so many like different types of comedy. There's so much.
And I imagine, you go to a new city, even with your experience now, it's going to happen all over again.
Exactly.
Every city you move to, it's a whole different world.
Exactly.
No matter how much experience you got in this previous place, no matter how good you are, but especially if you come from a smaller place. And it's crazy because you'll even hear that from people who move from other countries, because it's I never thought about it that way, but say you get you get popular, right? In let's say Amsterdam. You live in Amsterdam, you get kind of popular there, and then you move to America because there's a ceiling here in Amsterdam for comedy. You can see that, so I'm going to move to America. Just imagine the difference there. Because I mean, it's pretty easy to get popular in maybe England, and because England's not that big, it's only so big. Whereas you go to America, we're like 40 of those little countries. You combine all of them. Like, America is ridiculously huge. Like, it should just be 10 different countries. Like 20. It's so big.
So big. So many different types of like people, like throughout, like the different dialects and shit. Like even in the South, there's gonna be different dialects of Southern whatever.
But even that, right? Like all these different accents because it's so big. So you have these different dialects, exactly. And then you have the fact that, like, I'd never even had considered it until a comedian had told me exactly that they had gotten this popularity in another country. They were doing all right, and then they came to America and they realized, like, oh, this is completely different. Like, this is nothing like it was back at home.
Yeah,
because even the scale of it, right? Just the entire scale of how it works is so different. You might be able to get popular in the city of Chicago, maybe.
Exactly. Yeah, and
maybe you could do that.
That's what I'm aiming towards. I'm aiming towards that.
And that could be enough. That could definitely be enough.
Like it is, yeah.
I bet it's just all about, like, what do you want? What are you aiming for? Because I mean, if you want to be bigger than that, I mean, as a comedian, really the answer is you have to. I mean, you could do online content, but I really think if you want to be a big, amazing comedian, famous everywhere, you got to tour all over the place.
You got to do both. You got to do both. You got to have an equal balance of, like, being able to show up on stage, but also making really engaging content online so that when those people online see you in person, they continue to want to follow you. Because
you'll see people with this big online following that aren't following you to see you in person. Like, you have to find a way to get an audience that wants that.
Of the TikTok comedians.
Yes. That get booked just because they have those TikTok followers. That's the conundrum of the TikTok comedians, is that they will sell tickets. That's the conundrum. Yeah. They can sell tickets. So they're not even technically wrong. Like, technically, you should book them because you have a higher likelihood of selling tickets. But
then I think it falls into the person. Then you gotta deliver the goods, though, because, like, there's nothing wrong with a club booking somebody because they have like over 100,000 followers and they can sell out a club, and that's fine. I don't blame the clubs or the bookers for doing that because they're trying to make money. They're trying to get asses in the seats. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But yo ass got to come and deliver the goods then, because you have this show, you have this venue, you got these people here for you. You got to entertain them.
Yeah.
It's your job. So I don't blame the club bookers. I don't get it. I mean, I don't blame them. So
I think it's one of those things too where, I don't know, man. I just don't know how to feel about it, because I really think that it's inescapable. It doesn't really matter in the end. If you could just buy a bunch of followers and buy a bunch of likes, and you probably will get booked more. That probably is as simple as how it works. You probably just need to have 100,000 followers, and everybody will want to book you because they'll be like, "Oh, this person has." But make sure you buy the likes too, because if you don't buy the likes too, it looks fake. This is my pro tip for you guys. So you have to have a lot of money to do this.
At least, not even a lot, just a good amount of disposable. Just enough just to be like, all right, like enough to that you can.
Now, all that being said, I'm joking because I think that's actually worse because what happens is you buy all that stuff.
There are people that do it.
There are people that do it, but what happens is it's bad for your actual engagement because like the social media. I mean, I guess if you bought the likes every time, you might be fine. But the times that you don't buy it, the social media is going to take that as, oh, people aren't engaging with this. They don't like it. And so, and if you always had, it also looks at the ratio, right? So say I've got 100,000 followers, but I don't get 100,000 followers worth of likes on every post. That's why I'd say you have to buy the likes because if you aren't getting those likes, but you are getting those followers, if social media thinks, oh, well, I guess none of his followers wants to see his posts. So nobody wants to see this. And so they just don't show it to anybody, even the people that do follow you because they do want to see it. And that's the problem with buying views and buying likes and buying, because unless you're buying every single thing all the time, it's going to end up coming back to bite you.
Exactly.
Even though it looks good that one time. And so it's just, I just think it's an impossible game that we're all playing. You know, if we really want to have like a bunch. I mean, what you say you want to get big in Chicago. So like, what's your ideal? What's success like being big in Chicago? What does that look like? Like, what does successful comedian in Chicago look like to you?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's different for everyone. I feel like the parameters and the scope of what popular looks like in Chicago, I think is different for me because I am a gay comedian. I think that we are judged a little differently, and I think we have to work a little harder to like confirm those spaces for us. Because I mean, if I'm saying like, what is a successful comedian for me? I feel like I would have already hit that if I wasn't me because like I've performed at all the clubs, I've hosted shows, I host a show at I host and produce a show at the Laugh Factory. I have been recognized multiple times throughout Chicago, multiple times by people. It's like, oh, you're a comedian. Oh, you're a comedian. I mean, I have the biggest following, but like people know my face, and I was awarded Windy City Times 30 Under 30 in 2024 by the Windy City Times for like doing comedy. So like by that metric, I would say that I like am somewhat successful. I don't like, not trying to like toot my own horn or anything, but like somewhat like I have like some of that. But like I think what I would like, or what I would consider myself to be like a successful comedian in Chicago specifically, is being able to like bridge like the both of the worlds that I love, which is like the comedy world, but also like the queer world. I feel like a lot of those two tend to be separate a lot of times. And because like when I first started doing stand-up comedy with dead ass, I did not think that I was gonna like do it like and be like wanted to make a career out of it. I just started doing stand-up comedy because I have a dire need for attention, and if you did comedy, you got free drinks. So like that was just really what I did. And it was even like 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022, I was just doing stand-up because like I liked it and it was fun, and I met cool people and friends and stuff that I'm still friends with to this day, and like yada yada. And then I guess to circle back, I really didn't take it too serious until I became a co-producer of Lowkey Funny, which was the end of 2023. Because I did the show quite a few times. I hosted the show in drag for Juneteenth in 2022. And I was just doing that stuff because I thought it was fun. And I still think it's fun. And I really enjoyed everyone that was producing the show at Lowkey. I'm friends with everybody. Like in and off the stage, like we're all friends. And so, but then when I became a producer, I was like, oh, this is like a business, and now I'm going to take it seriously. So yeah, I think like, and to consider myself like I guess a staple in the Chicago comedy scene, or a successful comedian, I guess I would just like to, you know, create like a path that is like, would like to be known as like Shawn Banks, the comedian, not like the comedian Shawn Banks. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Shawn Banks, the comedian, not the comedian Shawn Banks. It's an interesting way to put it.
Yeah.
Because you're saying like you want your name to come first, like you want you to be first, right?
Yeah, because even like I've thought about it a lot. Like, I've been in like a very weird space comedy wise because I feel like I'm trying to figure out like what my next step is and like what I want to do. I'm a very like goal driven oriented person, and I feel like a lot of the goals that I hit for stand up wise, I've done them all. Like I've done shows at Laugh Factory, done shows in the Zanies, done stuff at Comedy Bar, I've traveled, I've like opened for people. Like I've done things that like I'm like, okay, cool. And so like now I'm like, well, what else and what do I want to continue doing? And I think I just want to be like, I just really want to be like a funny person. Like I just want to be like a funny person on the internet and in real life. Like I think that's just ultimately what it is. I don't necessarily know what that looks like. I don't know what metric I want to do.
Right.
But I just know that I want to be like known as like a funny person on your phone, in person, and also someone that you just kind of want to like hang around. Because that's ultimately like why I started doing stand up. I did not do stand up because I want to be famous, and I don't even think I want to be famous. Quite frankly, I want to make a living doing stand up. I want to just have stand up be like my main like breadwinner. If I'm not famous, like that's fine with me. I just want to like make a living of it. Like, I don't want to fucking work a day job. Like I just want to be able to like tell jokes and hang out with people and do it in drag every now and then too. But like yeah, that's it. So that's just when it comes to like metrics and I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I'm still figuring it out as well. But which has also like been an interesting thing. It's like it kind of gives that imposter syndrome because sometimes I feel like, and maybe you can relate as well, like doing music. Like sometimes like I see other people and we compare ourselves to other people that are doing the same things that we're doing, and you wonder like, am I doing it right? Am I doing it like the correct way? Am I doing it like the way that I should? Am I like built for this? I feel like as a person, I don't know if I have like as a person, I don't know if I have that like shark nature that I think sometimes is maybe necessary to like get ahead. Like
You gotta watch Shark Tank.
I guess I do.
Watch more
Get that
Shark
shark in me. Get that bite.
You see Marty Supreme?
No, I haven't, but I want to see it.
That might help you.
It might, yeah. I'm kind of because I've talked about this before, and I think someone else said the same thing. So yeah, I think I like to consider myself like a very nice person. I think I don't know, but then I think that, like in comedy, and sometimes I think that's like taken for granted. I've been taken advantage of a few different times, and so that's kind of like been like, damn, maybe I'm a little bit too nice. Maybe I'm a little too trusting when it comes to people, and I like to make friends with people, and I like to.
Well, there's a spectrum to such a thing, right? Because it goes the other way where people aren't nice at all, and you gotta love those people.
Gotta love them.
The best.
They're the best. They're great.
But I mean, and those people, it's not even like that. You can still get by not being that, but I think it's like one of the worst things you could do for long-term success. But on the other side, you could be too nice, and you could put yourself in positions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you could have too much mom energy going on,
which can be a double-edged sword because people tend to take that mom energy and they respect you and they like being around you, but then they don't like think of you as like their peer, which I think a lot of times in comedy you want to be respected by your peers. Like I like knowing that I make an audience laugh. If I made the other comedians laugh, and if they come into me and then I see them if I see them in 2 weeks and they're like, oh, I like that bit that you did, and I'm like, oh, okay, so that's like the badge of honor. That's like, I love entertaining a crowd and I love making people laugh and stuff like that. But if like the other comics remember my bits and are like, oh, you were so funny, yada yada, and then like actually mean it, not just like you were great, like the fake, like you were great, like, but they are actually like, no, I saw you the other day and like I really like that bit that you did, or yeah, that shows that it's like, okay, cool, you're getting respect from your peers, not just like you were great, like how you would treat a mom, like mom, you're so sweet, you're so nice, yeah, mom, you're just great, like like it's like you want to get like the respect and be seen as like a peer that you can like be talked to. And I think that like works for like comedy, music, it works for like anything. You want to be respected by your peers, and you also want, because at the end of the day, like I feel like comedy and any kind of thing in entertainment, it's all about like how it's all about some of it is talent, but a good amount of it is luck, and a good amount of it is like, are you a nice person that people want to be around?
Yeah,
because people book shows based off of who is their friend and who they like. And yes, please be funny and entertaining. But like, if you're cool and you're nice, I mean, that'll also go a long way too.
Oh, that goes most of the way.
That goes most of the way.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's how I think I got my producer spot at Lowkey Funny was because I always showed up. I was on time. I was nice to everybody. I was professional. I was cool. I was cracking jokes. I hung out with people after the show. And then yes, I'm a very funny person that like also did well on stage every time they booked me. But like I remember when they added me to the group chat and I could go back and see all the old messages. One of the things that people said were like, Shawn's very fun to hang around. We want to just like work with him. He seems very fun. And I think people like forget that.
You're reading that. Oh.
I know, honestly. I was like, why y'all like me? Oh, y'all really, Halle Berry, you like me? You really like me?
I was never supposed to see this.
Like, and I think that's what people confuse because people think that they have to be like on because most comedians are introverted people. They're very introverted, cerebral people.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes they think that they have to be like a big personality and on and I'm like, no one and you don't have to be yourself. Like
right.
Be yourself. It's much easier said than done. But just like be yourself. Like if you are a naturally introverted, shy person, you can be that. But just like be respectful and
right.
just be cool. And if someone's talking to you, engage. But then when the conversation's done, if you want to go back to your bubble, go back to your bubble. But like I think sometimes people like assume that like okay, I got a network, I gotta be on. It's like just be yourself and like be respectful and be nice. And if someone does talk to you, like engage. Like you're not. I mean, closed mouths don't get fed. So like you gotta talk to people regardless. But just like if you're naturally not like a on person, don't like turn it on because then that's going to be seen as fake, which then is also like not. Doesn't work for you.
I think it's just being present, like being there.
Just being
because
present.
People don't like literally being present, like literally, like being there, like being visible. Like I see you there, like you're present. Because the thing is, if you just like do your thing and leave, like people, even if you, I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes you're busy. Sometimes you have a life. Sometimes you have to do things. But like if you're always that guy, people will remember you as that guy. So and it's even as simple as like. Even if you do have to just go, like just hanging around for a minute, just talking to this person and talking to this person, just saying hi to everybody, like those little things.
Saying hi and bye goes a long way.
Much, yeah.
Saying hi and
people
bye
don't do
goes
that
a
stuff
long way.
though. They don't do any of those things.
Walking up to the host and be like, "Oh my god, thanks so much for having me. Oh my god, I'm so excited for the show. This is gonna be a great show." Doing your performance. If you have to leave. Finding them and be like, "Oh my god, thank you so much for having me. This was great." That goes a long way. It is so rude when we've done Lowkey Funny, and there have been people that have come to the show. They don't check in with us. They don't say hi. They just walk up. They do their thing, and then they leave. And we're like, okay, well then fuck you too. Like, and we remember that, and we're like, we're not gonna book you again because you clearly just saw this as an opportunity to perform, and then you didn't care about us, and you didn't even want to say hi. How's everything going? Yada yada yada. We saw you because, and I remember one person in particular. I saw them in the green room hanging out, talking to other people, but didn't want to talk to us. They went on stage. The only time they talked to the host was to be like, anything you want me to say before I bring you on? Then they stuck it out for 2 or 3 other people, and then they just like left. And we were like, oh, where did this person go? And then we're like, oh, okay. It's just like, I don't know, just like be present, just be there. Like at your core, comedians are people that want to connect with other people. So like, wouldn't you want to connect with other people?
Sometimes no. Sometimes it seems like no, I guess. Sometimes, I mean, I actually do like talking to comedians more for that reason. I mean, we were talking right before we started here about how before I had comedians on the podcast, I was talking to musicians more. And what I find is that comedians are much easier to talk with. Like just to talk with. Like not because, I feel like you're talking to a musician more, like you're kind of talking at them and they talk at you, and a comedian kind of wants to riff. Like I think what it is comedians, their minds are like trained to just roll with ideas and come up with new ideas. Like they're always trying to get to the root of something or why is this funny, or what's funny about that, and then
mental illness.
Yeah, it's a lot of it's just mental illness. Yeah, and so you got these mentally ill people talking to each other, and eventually that becomes podcasts. That's how comedians took over podcasts. That's literally there's a reason that comedy podcasts and comedians, like there's a reason this is all synonymous, like all these things run together. It's because comedians are like the best at just talking nonstop. And what I've learned is like you talk to a musician in the same way that I'm talking to you now, and it becomes a little bit more like, oh, I kind of have to pull some stuff out of them. I have to make some stuff happen. Comedians are easy. They'll just come in and do half the work. Musicians, I don't know. What I've learned is directors, they're not so bad. Okay. I haven't had enough actors to give you any information on that.
Okay.
But directors... I
feel like actors would be really talking.
They probably would
people.
talk a lot.
They're
pretty
talking to people.
Because they're always trying to like pretend to be someone else so they can finally be themselves.
Damn! Shots fired.
They're like, it's really me.
Like the person behind the person. Oh my God, I can finally be myself.
But directors, they always have like a big vision. So I feel like they always want to give you their, like filmmakers, they always want to give you their big vision. I've only talked to a couple photographers, but I'd be interested to see how that works, because I feel like photographers wouldn't be very talkative. My initial guess, I had one mime on. He was very talkative, much more talkative than you'd expect a mime to be.
Doesn't that like break his character though?
Right?
Like doesn't it like ruin like your whole thing? Like you're talking now.
Maybe I should take it down.
Maybe. Or just put it on mute.
Yeah, right. Just re-upload it.
Take the audio out, and then it's like it's quiet. Exactly.
Mute his mic.
I feel like photographers talk. I feel like I hang around photographers a lot. Doing stand-up comedy, you're always around shows and you always get photographed.
There's some photographers that I've noticed are like big in the comedy world. Even.
Yeah. Can I shout out someone?
Go for it. Yeah.
Michael Thomas Regan has done so much great work. He is a good friend of mine, but also I think you would like him. I think he would also do well in this podcast.
MTG, Magic the Gathering. MTG.
No, MTR.
Oh,
Michael Thomas Regan. Yes,
Reagan, like the president.
Yeah.
MTR.
Wait, I think does he pronounce it Reagan or Regan? I can't remember. Anyways, but yeah,
mother.
He is
MTR mother.
he's a comedian. He does stuff as well as Zanies too. He photographs the roast battle. So you might actually know him.
Oh, okay, maybe I've seen him around. Yeah.
He photographs the roast battle. And he's a really cool person. He's very down to earth. We've known each other for years. I've known him since 2022. I used to do a podcast at the Lincoln Lodge that only survived one season. And he did the artwork for that. He did my drag headshots. He's done I did like other headshots, like my normal Shawn headshots, and he shot those. So I think I talked to him when I did my drag shots. He was like, "Oh, you're one of the few people that I've shot more than twice." And I was just like, "Oh my God, stop, Michael!" But no, he's great.
Is it MTR Chai? Is that what it is on Instagram?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, so I do know who this is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I know exactly
he's and like on top of him being like he's like a very dope person, he does like amazing work. Like his photos are always so good. He's very quick with turning around photos, and he's super collaborative too. I love shooting with him, and he's a really great guy. So maybe you should have him on the pod.
Hell yeah.
But yeah.
Speaking of the pod, we're coming to an end, folks. We came all the way around town. We're rounding about to an end. But you know what? The wheels on the bus go round and round, but they must come to a stop. Speaking of the wheels on the bus, we always do something at the end of the show. The show is obviously for 3 to 5 year olds. All right. That's my core audience. So the kids on that school bus are about to get off the bus. They're going to take off their headphones, going to enter the real world. So they need some advice from you, some wise wisdom and nugget of knowledge coming out of your brain to the kids.
Okay.
And I don't know what it is. You're going to show them. What you're going to do right after that is you're going to tell them where they can find you, the social medias, all that good stuff, the place they can see your face. They spent all this time with you. They might as well spend some more. And considering this comes out about a month from now, if you're going to plug any dates, anything like that, just keep that considered. Boom, the floor is yours, sir.
If I have to give advice to anyone, I would say what's some advice I would say? Ask for the money up front. That's definitely some advice I would give. And also
never loan money.
Actually, this is never loan money, or to double that, never loan money you're okay with never seeing again.
There you go. Yeah. Better.
Only give an amount of money away that you're okay with never ever seeing again.
And ask for the money up front.
And then if you're borrowing money, ask for it up front. And then for me, you can follow me on Instagram at Banksy, BANK, 2 Z's, 3 Y's. You can catch me every first Friday of the month at the Laugh Factory, at Lowkey Funny. Again, it's a show produced by people of color and Dan Cass for people of color And Dan Cass. And we put on
That's really inclusive of you guys.
It really is. We have to be an ally as well. Right. So we have to have at least one token straight white guy. And he's like the best. He's like one of my favorite white people ever. And so yeah, you can catch me there. You can catch me on TikTok as well at same thing, Banksy BNKZZYYY. This comes out in first Friday of the month, and then Pride Month. Please, I already have shows booked for June, so catch me in Pride Month. I'm gonna be at Babs Comedy Club in June 6th. I'm gonna be hosting the Lowkey Funny show for June and the Juneteenth edition as well. So stay tuned for that. But otherwise, just like follow me online and just watch me do funny stuff.
Awesome. Amazing. Watching this guy do funny stuff online. Bank ZZYYYYYZZYYYYZZYYYY.
Period. Because I didn't want to get sued for copyright. So Banksy he was like, I'm going to be known now in court.
Awesome. Well, it's been a pleasure. Fantastic
Thank
advice.
you so much for having me.
I like that you gave them financial advice. No one's ever went financial. Like immediately just go to the money.
And I'm in my 30s now, so I kind of am really thinking about the financial, the financial landscape that I'm setting for myself. So it's been on my mind. So I just want to let people know that.
I feel like you recently loaned someone money and they didn't pay you back, or like you didn't get the money up front, and you're like, oh motherfucking.
It wasn't me.
All right.
It wasn't me. That's all I'll say.
Close to home. Close to home. But yeah, thanks for being here. Amazing things always happening here on the amazing show known as Ruse Radio. Clocking out.
Double down, competition couldn't help him to rock. Missed the whole time, holy fell through the flock. That's an ordinary miracle, wealth to the block. It's a balance in the character that's calm and collect. It's apparent his caricature is lost in the mess. It's hysterical, the picture that they put to his face. It's a confidence administered to earn their respect. Live a little light a candle.